I now give the floor to the representative of Algeria.
Thank you, Madam President. At the outset, I would like to thank Ms. Lisa Doughton from OCHA for her valuable briefing. As we meet today, the conflict in Ukraine continues unabated, and it continues to claim innocent lives of civilians in a protracted war, with numerous consequences on Ukraine and Russia. Meanwhile, there are no prospects for a peaceful settlement between the two parties. Reports abound about the heavy losses in lives, property, and infrastructure, including energy infrastructure. The targeting of energy infrastructure is causing enormous damage, especially during the extremely harsh winter. This creates conditions that are impossible to endure, especially by women and children. This targeting also disrupts vital facilities, such as health and educational institutions, supply chains, and others, further exacerbating the impact on civilians. What is even worse is that this war still answers the logic of confrontation, escalation, and polarization. The two parties are still looking for means to strengthen their military capabilities in an attempt to achieve a better position in a war which, like other wars, will have no winner. Madam President, Algeria has been calling and continues to call for sobriety, pause, and self-restraint, and to giving the utmost priority to the life and safety of civilians. It calls upon both parties to strictly abide by the rules of international law, including international humanitarian law, which both prohibit the targeting of civilians and civilian infrastructure. Algeria has also been calling for de-escalation and for favoring dialogue, inclusive and constructive dialogue, in view of achieving a lasting and just peace. Algeria reaffirms its firm belief that the solution will not happen through the force of weapons, but through negotiations and the ability of both parties to overcome their differences and to find a peaceful settlement that would put an end to the war. In this context, we reiterate our call to both parties to give a chance to diplomacy, to engage in a constructive, inclusive negotiation that aims at immediately putting an end to hostile operations and finding a just and lasting solution based on the principles and purposes of the United Nations Charter, in the primacy of which we all believe, while taking into account the legitimate security concerns of both parties. We also call upon the international community to multiply their diplomatic efforts, aiming at creating a conducive environment for negotiations away from polarization and narrow geopolitical considerations. In conclusion, Algeria reaffirms its unwavering commitment to support all international efforts aiming at finding a peaceful political settlement accepted by both parties to put an end to this war and to return the whole region to safety. Thank you, Madam President.
I thank the representative of Algeria for their statement.